So today we have a information session for our 2023 Solar Energy Efficiency and Lighting Program in partnership with MPI Solar, Hoosier Hills Credit Union, IFF. And throughout the presentation, you're welcome to also pull up our program information site at bloomington.in.gov/sustainability/SEEL. We will post the recording of this information session within the week. First, I'd like to introduce our department. I'm from the City of Bloomington's Department of Economics and Sustainable Development, and my name is Lauren Clemens. I'm the Assistant Director of Sustainability. The goal of our department is to help make a more resilient community through partnerships, collaboration, and strategic initiatives. This program is administered by our department and in coordination with my colleague, Michaela Lynch, who you'll hear from in a couple of minutes. But we provide technical assistance and grant administration for the nonprofits and small businesses. And if you have any questions, we're the primary point of contact. And the funding for this program on the grant side is available through the Economic Development Local Income Tax. And then I'd like to hand it off to MPI Solar to introduce yourselves, just everyone that's on the computer.
Okay, hi everybody, my name is Amy McCarty and I'm from MPI Solar, and
David Mann, the owner over there, and just mention our history. We started in 2008. Solar hot water and solar PV about 2010, so we've been around for a while.
And MPI will be doing solar assessments and installations for any participating organization. And then we have IFF, and Donna is on the computer. So if you could just unmute yourself and provide a brief introduction to IFF and yourself.
Hi, everyone. I'm Donna Sink. I'm a senior owner's representative with IFF. We're up in Indianapolis, but we work all over the state of Indiana, and we work with nonprofits on their building facility capital needs. I will be running the energy assessments that we will do this year. If you have an assessment done on your building, we'll produce for you a report sort of going over your sustainability improvement opportunities, as well as identifying any significant issues we might see with your building as we do the walkthrough. The walkthroughs take a couple hours, and I really enjoy them and enjoy getting to meet all of you and seeing what your organizations are doing for the community. So thank you, Lauren, for having us back again.
Yeah. And also, IFF is a great lending partner with connections to financing if needed as well. Next slide. And then Hoosier Hills Credit Union, you'd like to introduce yourself?
Hi, Russ Wilkie, Chief Experience Officer with Hoosier Hills Credit Union. I've got Steve Hawkins, Debbie Reynolds, and Cassie Root on the line as well. Those are our commercial lenders. They'll be the experts in helping anybody interested in this program who also needs financing. Get themselves set up with a loan from Hoosier Hills. And as part of the partnership with, we partnered with MPI Solar for about 1.5 years now on doing solar loans for residential. So we're looking forward to working with them again this coming year for not-for-profits and small businesses. And as our part of this program, we're going to reduce the lending costs by 0.5% for anybody who qualifies for the SEEL program.
So just to start off, we'll review some program eligibility. If you have questions throughout the presentation, you're welcome to add those to the chat. We'll have plenty of time for question and answer at the end as well. We'll reserve most of the time for that. But just briefly, to participate in the program, this is our 3rd year. If you're a nonprofit, which includes tax-exempt 501c3, 501c4, social welfare organizations, employee benefit associations, and business leagues, you're eligible. We've also worked with schools, if you're tax-exempt charitable organization, early childhood centers. We've had a couple participate in past years, libraries. Monroe County Public Library was a past participant, and we've had one healthcare facility. And for the first time, we're including businesses. So if you're a small business with less than 500 full-time employees, we are happy to expand our eligibility to include businesses this year. If you're another governmental entity, unfortunately, you're not eligible for this program, but we can connect you with other lending opportunities if you're interested in that. A couple of other things that are important to note, your facility that we're working with has to be within Bloomington city limits. This is a city of Bloomington program. And if you're leasing, we need to work with you to determine that you have permission from the facility owner to participate. If you're wondering if your facility is in city limits, we have this great tool. Bloomington, My Bloomington, you can put in your address and it will tell you if you're in a historic district, if you're in city limits. And we're happy to check if you're wondering as well. A couple of other things that are important to know, facility must be 3,000 square feet at a minimum. And you need to have at least one part-time or full-time staff member that can serve as a point of contact. This would be the person that's filling out the application, that can answer any follow-up questions, that will work with our program partners. And that will make it a lot easier for you to move through the program smoothly. And then in terms of eligible projects for the grant, we've got 2 tracks this year, energy efficiency and solar. For energy efficiency, this includes things like LED conversions or upgrades. So if you're ready to update your lighting, this is a great opportunity. Or looking to install occupancy sensors. Another project that would be eligible includes HVAC replacement, any sort of ventilation and cooling upgrades, and then water heater upgrades. So we've got 3 project types there. And then on the solar side, it could be installation, it could be your first installation or an addition to an existing installation. And then we're looking at an 8 kilowatt system size. And if that doesn't mean anything to you now, that's fine, because we'll work with MPI to look at your system size that will fit on your facility. And all projects are completed by our program partner, MPI Solar, for the grant. You may be asking, what's the benefit of participating? I think we've got a large suite of different technical assistance and loans, tax rebates, and grants available to help you get your project finished. The first is the energy assessment, and Donna will speak a little bit more into what's included in that. But after we confirm your participation, we will schedule an assessment to be completed by IFF. And the cost is sponsored by the city, and this will help identify which projects have the best return on investment for your facility. Oftentimes, if you don't have a facility manager, you might not know where to start in terms of reducing your utility bills. So this will look at the best near-term and long-term opportunities to make sure that your facility is operating as efficiently as possible. The other thing that we are providing is a $10,000 matching grant for energy efficiency. So this is a cost share grant through the city of Bloomington, and we're looking at project sizes of $20,000, and so this grant will not exceed 50% of that. If you have a project that's more expensive than that, that's fine, that's great. That's where we have connections to loans if needed to cover the rest of the cost of that project. On the energy efficiency side, there are also rebates. So we've had people in the past that have an expensive lighting project, but then they're able to work with Duke Energy to get a lot of that covered through a direct rebate. There's a couple of other tax credits that may be eligible depending on your project. So throughout all of this, you can take the cost of what could be a pretty expensive project for your organization and bring it down to a very manageable out-of-pocket expense. And then I will hand it off to Donna to explain a little bit more about the energy assessment process and what it includes and the benefit to your organization.
So when we go in and do the energy assessment, and it's either I or a coworker who will come and do it, and I am a registered architect and my coworkers are construction specialists. So we are looking at the whole building, but with a real focus on the energy efficiency aspect of it. So we come and do a visit. We want to see every room and get on the roof and go in the basement and see all the mechanical. So we want to really get a thorough view of the building. We would like to have someone tour us through who is knowledgeable of the building or has worked on the is maybe in the facilities team of the building. But if you don't have that, it's just someone who has been in the building and is knowledgeable of how it's used and how it has been used in the past. Our assessment includes an overall, overview of what the building itself is made of, how it functions, how old it is. We're prioritizing the observations in terms of priority 1 are things that are really problematic. That again, in my area of expertise, we see an issue with the building that seems like it's a potential danger, we will let you know that right away. And then we prioritize the energy efficiency opportunities. So really looking at the use of HVAC systems and the use of your lighting and how you control the energy, the electricity use in your building. So where are there opportunities for improved performance in the building in terms of energy efficiency? And then we look at sort of some longer term, things that you might want to change, things that are maybe an issue that's going to be popping up in the next 10 years. And so you might want to start budgeting for that now. We sort of give you an overview of what you might be expecting in the future in your building. And then we do a cost estimation that is based on rough order of magnitude. And that means it's a very rough estimate, but it sort of allows you to categorize, well, this problem might be, a $500 problem, whereas this one is a $50,000 problem. So it helps you to sort of just rank what things might cost when you are able or required to eventually address them. What we need from you, in addition to the walkthrough, is a summary of your utility expenses. So we'd like to have 2 years of your electrical bills, your gas bills, your water bills. And we sort of summarize those in terms of how much you spend every month, how much you spend over the year. And we also like to do a little bit of a comparison between, your per square footage of building, how much your energy costs are compared to some other similar sized organizations. We make recommendations, sort of a list of these are the things that you really need to be thinking about for your building. And we've found that these reports are really a great place for your organization's board of directors or for the people on your facilities committee to really sort of rally around. It's a point in time assessment of where exactly your building is and what things you need to start planning for or be aware of. We take tons of photos. We're careful about not including people in the photographs because we know people don't like to be photographed, but we do take a lot of photographs. So again, it's a good record of a moment in time of where your building stands. Next slide.
These have been really great for our past participants as they're planning what type of expense to expect in terms of a project, and also to just be able to talk to their board about upcoming needs. And if you have already participated in the program in the past, you can use your past energy assessment, but we're looking forward to being able to provide energy assessments to our new program participants this year. So on the solar side, there's a lot of similarities, but we'll have a solar assessment. So MPI can provide that technical assessment and provide an evaluation about your facility and the appropriate size of the installation. And then the city's providing a $25,000 grant. We've increased the amount from, it was $10,000 last year and it will be $25,000 this year. And those will be reflected on your final invoice. So if you have a project that equates to $25,000, then your out of pocket would be $0. But if you have a larger facility and you're gonna have a larger installation, we have connected, like Russ mentioned, with Hoosier Hills Credit Union to help you to be able to finance the remainder, and that's at a lower interest. And they're a local lender and a great partner. And then another great opportunity for this year is the federal tax credit, which is 30%. And for the first time ever, nonprofits can file and get a bill credit. And so this will be the first year where that's true. In the past, it's only been other types of organizations that could file for that credit. So if that's something that you have questions about, we have additional resources and we're able to help you with that, because that's a new eligible tax credit that just became active last year. And then I'll just hand it off to MPI to explain a little bit about what a solar assessment is.
Hi, yeah. So the solar assessment, the first part of it, we can do a lot of it remotely with just some very basic information, your facility address, I need some electrical usage information, good contact information. For electrical usage, what we really like to see is 12 months of in kilowatt hours, so we can see if there's any seasonal variation. Also, if there's as much information about perhaps the scheduling, if you're open every day, if you're closed on the weekends, that sort of thing, so we can see what your patterns of use are, so we can size it correctly. And then I go and look your building up on with our solar design software, which uses satellite imagery, and I can put together some preliminary costing to give you an idea of the budget and what we recommend for you. And then from there, we move on to a site visit, and we look at your roof and look at the electrical in the panel and how we will connect. Doesn't have to be on a roof. It can also be on the ground. Typically, most of them are roofs, but it doesn't have to be. And then we sort of finalize all the details. And if you want to proceed, then we go to the next steps.
Awesome.
Thank you. And I wanted a little bit more time for Hoosier Hills to speak. We worked together to develop this handout to illustrate what a commercial solar loan would look like, but if you wanted to speak to a couple of the benefits of financing through Hoosier Hills.
Sure, thanks. Like I mentioned earlier, anyone who qualifies for the SEEL program, right, we will give a 0.5% discount on the loan rate. We are a local, we happen to be a not-for-profit ourselves. So we moved into the Monroe County market here in about the last year and a half, and are really trying to focus on the solar residential and commercial products as part of our kind of corporate stewardship and part of our mission. Couple things that I think may be somewhat unique about our products, and Steve, Cassie, Debbie, feel free to jump in if I'm over promising something that you guys can't deliver. But we do fixed rates up to 10 years, which for a commercial loan is a little bit unique. Most commercial loans will only fix a rate for 5 to 7 years. For any business or not-for-profit where your income stream is seasonal, we can customize the loan repayment to match that seasonality. We do that for agricultural loans for farmers, for example, so we can do that for these loans as well. And if you come into a windfall of money at some point, you want to pay off your loan, we provide we do not charge any prepayment fees. So we are happy to work with you and be really as flexible as possible to meet the needs that you have to install the solar system that you need for your entity.
Great. And then I'm going to hand it off to Michaela, and she's going to speak a little bit to how to apply and the logistics of that. And this is also posted on the website as well, so you can reference this and we'll work with you throughout all these steps as well.
Great. Okay, so as Lauren mentioned, my name is Michaela. I'm a sustainability program coordinator for the city. And I'm just going to give a brief overview of the application process as well as the program workflows for the energy efficiency track versus the solar track, because they are a little bit different. I'm going to dive into the application software that we use for most of our application process in future slides. So I'm just going to make note now that when I say you're going to submit it to the application software, that's what I'm referring to. The first step for the program is to submit an initial eligibility intake form. Once the city of Bloomington is able to verify that you meet all of the eligibility criteria, you'll then move forward with a full application. That's where you'll indicate whether you're interested in energy efficiency or solar. That's also where we're going to ask you to upload copies of 12 months worth of energy usage data to help us down the line for energy assessments or solar assessments. And then once you complete that, you're going to be prompted to sign a letter of commitment, just indicating your organization's intent to move forward with participating in the program. After that, the next step is an energy assessment. So if during the full program application, you indicated that you have not received an energy assessment in the last 5 years, or were not a previous program participant that received one, then you'll be prompted to schedule an energy assessment with Donna from IFF, who will conduct the energy assessment for your facility as she described it previously. You'll then have the opportunity to sit down and meet with the City of Bloomington staff as well as Donna to discuss the results of that energy assessment and what might be best project to fund through the program. You'll make a final project selection, and then during this time, you'll also go out and get contractor quotes for the project that you've selected to move forward with. You're going to go back into that application software. You're going to submit a final project application indicating which project you're interested in funding, as well as uploading those contractor quotes. That will be the last step. for the energy efficiency track where you'll need to be in that software. The next step, we will forward you a grant agreement from the city of Bloomington for you to sign after your final project review, and you will submit that with a final purchase order from your contractor. You'll move forward with project completion, and then again, as Lauren mentioned, grant funds will be dispersed on a reimbursement basis. City of Bloomington staff will coordinate a final closeout meeting to offer the opportunity for you to provide any feedback about your experience, as well as for us to just get a look at what we've been able to fund through the program. And then the final last step, again, that Lauren mentioned earlier, we do want to encourage organizations to take advantage of any financial incentives that they can for investing in energy efficiency, whether that be through, Duke Energy rebates or the federal energy efficiency tax deduction, where you can receive up to an additional $180 per square foot as a tax credit. We do encourage you to pursue that as well. And if you need to see, again, this program workflow in the future, there's a link at the bottom on our Bloomington Sustainability SEEL page where you can access this. For organizations that are interested in solar, the first 3 steps are going to remain the same. So you're going to submit that initial eligibility intake form, a full program application with your energy usage data, and final letter of commitment. And then we will then forward that information that you sent to us in the full program application along to MPI Solar, our contracting partner for solar projects, where they will conduct that, again, virtual site assessment. They can put together a report for you, and then we'll coordinate that in-person site assessment as well to give you kind of the full scope of how you can approach your solar project. You'll have the opportunity to schedule an optional final review with the City of Bloomington staff if you have any questions about how to move forward from there. And then you'll upload your solar assessment and know any final project details in that 3rd and final project application step within the software. Once that's been completely submitted, you'll then sign a solar contract with MPI, and then you'll upload your final purchase order through that grant software. That's the last step that you'll have in the software for the solar track. You'll move forward with your solar installation, very exciting. And then again, grant funds are dispersed as a direct sale discount on the final purchase order from MPI. City of Bloomington staff will again coordinate a final closeout meeting, opportunity to discuss the project, feedback, your experience. And then again, we highly encourage organizations to file for any tax credits, rebates, incentives, including the federal investment tax credit, which will get you 30% of the cost of your project for solar installations. Okay, so kind of just a brief overview of what it's going to look like in the application software so that you can get an indication of what this process might look like. So you can find this link on our City of Bloomington webpage, but the application software is cityofbloomington.smapply.io. Once you get there, you are going to have to create an account for the application portal. It is very quick to register, and you're going to want to register as an organization for the SEEL program. So just make sure whoever is signing up for the application on behalf of your organization that they indicate that they want to register as an organization. You'll navigate to the programs page at the top and select the SEEL program. Once the program is open, you'll be able to select apply and start your application. This will be a little bit what the application looks like. As you move through the form, be sure to mark as complete each time you finish the task at the bottom of the page, and use the task bar, which is that bar photo on the left side of your page to ensure you've completed each portion of the application, particularly for that second application where you're going to have to fill out a form and upload your energy usage data. Just make sure you've marked all of those tasks as complete so that we have that information moving forward, and then you'll just hit submit. All of this process is automated, so you'll get email confirmation every time we've received any portion of that application. You'll also get an email from us concerning next steps, whether that be on our end or yours, on how to proceed forward. But if at any point in time you want to check the status and stage of your application, you can log in back into your application portal, navigate to my applications, and you'll be able to see the status of what your application is at. If at any point in time you do have questions about the application process or you run into any issues with the software, do feel free to contact us with any questions at sustain@bloomington.ia.gov. We will also be uploading a how to apply document at the bottom of the SEEL page on the city's website for you to refer to at any point in time. Most importantly, our application deadlines. So while the City of Bloomington has funding availability for 40 organizations this year, in order to manage project volume, we are going to be doing using a cohort format There will be 3 cohorts, so there will be about 7 participants in each of those cohorts for each of the respective tracks. Organizations will be selected in groups and reviewed as we receive those applications. So for cohort 1, application is live now, and that application deadline is going to be February 24th. In between each of the cohorts, there will be about a week where those applications close completely. Then they'll open back up. So cohort 2, the deadline is going to be May 15th. Cohort 3, that application deadline is going to be August 14th. I do want to make a really important note. These deadlines indicate when you should have the full application submit, not just your eligibility intake form. So for any organizations that think you may be interested, be sure to get started early on that application process. And then finally, we just wanted to highlight some of the 2021 and 2022 participants. We've had the pleasure of working with a really wide variety of nonprofits and organizations in Bloomington, anything from HVAC, ventilation and cooling to water heater upgrades, LED conversions, like you can see in this photo of the Monroe County Public Library. So we encourage any interested participants to reach out to previous organizations to hear about their experience. We also encourage previous program participants to apply again, as you're welcome to apply each year. And then we will move forward with questions. We'll field anything that comes in the chat, as well as anybody that's in the room that would like to ask any question. And then again, at any point in time, please feel free to reach out via email or visit our website. But thank you all so much for attending this information session, and we're really looking forward to all of you.
I'm gonna stop the share so that you can see us better. All right, so I'll start with the chat. And then we can move, if you just want to raise your hand after that. So the first one says, can a 501c3 use these programs for homes that will transfer to clients? I'm with Habitat for Humanity. We build new homes for families in our program. We also occasionally rehab existing homes. So I think if you have a residential project, there's a couple of options. We also have a residential lending program where we also work with Hoosier Hills. That's called the Bloomington Green Home Improvement Program. And there's rebates for the property owners that are making upgrades to that program. That does include energy efficiency, solar, electric vehicle chargers even. And I will put the link to that program in the chat. This is better focused for commercial projects, or if you had a project that would be for a facility that is going to intend to be still owned by your organization longer term. And then another question, could installing level 2 chargers for EVs qualify for a grant? Not at this time, but there are new Duke Energy incentives for electric vehicle chargers, and we're happy to provide those as well. Do we have any other questions?
Yes.
Mhm.
If we're interested in both the assessment
Mhm.
and a lighting
Yeah.
grant, which I assume you said is a 50% match.
Yeah.
Should we apply for both at the same time or wait until we get the assessment to do the lighting?
Yeah, so I think what we would recommend in your case is just put in your intake form, and then we'll schedule with Donna and she can come out and look at your facility. And then we are also happy to provide follow-up to lighting contractors that do a specific assessment of the cost of replacing your lighting. So we would do both at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think the great thing about lighting, Duke has a couple of other programs as well that provide up to an 80% rebate. So that's a great project. And we've had probably 3 last year that did lighting, whether they were schools or other.
Then just in terms of the application process, I'm a volunteer,
Yeah.
and I know you want a staff person to be the point person on this. So I assume that it would be better not to have me do the application, but actually have that staff person
In the,
initiate it. Is that right?
yeah, well, so in the application form, even if you're, the one that registers, there's a field where you can indicate if you're not the point of contact, you can say, I'm not the point of contact, and then we just ask you to provide the contact information for who you think would best be the point of contact.
All right, and that And I would go to the smapply.io website to
Yep.
start that process.
Right, yep, that's where you'll submit the initial eligibility intake form and we'll ask you those questions.
And if the website's difficult to remember, if you also just go to the city page and in the search bar, you can just type in SEEL, it will pull up the page as well, and everything's linked on there. So if you're having any trouble, you can contact us. We're happy to also sit down and help anyone that would like to sit down and fill out the application with us, so that you don't get stuck. And yeah, I mean, the reason that we ask for the point of contact is that when someone's coming on site, we need someone that's available to like unlock the doors and provide any access to the facility.
And so even though I'm a volunteer, I could go through this process. I could upload the utilities information, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, you can definitely help fill out the application. Yeah.
Okay, but that person would be able to log into this site and continue. with the
Yeah.
process.
You can have a group, there's like, it's filling out the application,
Mhm.
and we encourage like whoever makes sense in the organization, and just at that point of contact is able. Whether it's the executive director or anyone else able to make decisions on behalf of the organization about funding and participating. Any other questions from online or?
I have a question. We have a potential participant actually that might want to take advantage
Yeah.
of everything. Is that possible? Like, we know they want solar, they may also want lighting and energy efficiency upgrades. Can they apply for everything? Or-
It's one or the other at this time.
Okay.
I think later in the year, if we don't have as much interest as we're expecting, we may change that, but
Okay.
at this point in time, because this is the first time businesses are eligible, we are expecting quite a bit of interest.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, anyone, I mean, especially if they're not able to come to this, we're recording it and just to share the site and
Mhm.
also, if someone's not able to move forward, just put in the intake form, and it's just at the point of confirmation at the end of the program application that we're gonna need commitment from the organization, so they're welcome to proceed and move forward to the point where we would need more of a commitment.
Does the $3,000 grant for the energy efficiency cover the full cost of that assessment?
Yeah, so there's no cost to the organization for that. And Donna's been able to work with us for the past couple of years on the program, so she's looked at a variety of different sites across Bloomington and has experience working with our broad range of different facilities that she's served.
Thank you.
Anyone else? All right, well, I'm going to add some more contact information to the chat for everyone. And in the meantime, if you have any questions, please let us know, but otherwise I will in a couple of minutes, end the recording. And so that is bloomington.in.gov/sustainability/SEAL. And then there's two different pages. So if you have no interest in energy efficiency, you can just look at the solar page, and vice versa, or you can check out both and decide what makes sense for your organization. All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining today, and we're looking forward to working with you this year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.